Everyone needs an estate plan. That's why FindLaw worked with lawyers from across the country and employed Thomson Reuters' industry-leading form automation technology to create affordable, customizable, do-it-yourself estate planning documents. Forms available include a last will and testament, healthcare directive and living will, and financial power of attorney. You can purchase a form individually, or you can bundle all three for a 10% discount. Both individual and couples packages are available. FindLaw's estate planning forms are backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, and you can update your finished estate plan for free for up to a year after purchase. There is no time like the present to start estate planning and get peace of mind, especially when you can do it from the comfort of home and at a fraction of the cost of going to an attorney. To get started, head to findlaw.com, and at the top of the page, click on Legal Forms and Services.
Welcome to Sidebar, FindLaw's bite-sized short-form episodes. I'm Laura Temme, and I'm joined by Andy Leonetti and Vedhi Mehta. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hey.
So last week we talked about the First Amendment, and today, well, we're not really talking about the First Amendment, but it is relevant because the one thing that we didn't talk about last week is First Amendment rights of corporations.
Yeah.
Corporations are people, my friend.
You are the last person in the world I would have imagined to shout that, Andy.
I know.
So in March, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed the Parental Rights and Education Bill into law, better known as the Don't Say Gay Bill, which prohibits discussion of sexual orientation and gender identity in elementary schools. And a company that spent decades not really commenting on anything, Disney, who of course is based in Florida. I know Disney spent a long time trying to be apolitical, and they tried to do it here too, but against sort of mounting pressure from the public. At the company's annual shareholder meeting on March 9th, CEO Bob Chapek finally made comments having the company come out against the Don't Say Gay bill. And not long after, the Florida legislature proposed and DeSantis signed a measure that will dissolve the Reedy Creek Improvement District effective June 21st, 2023. And what is the Reedy Creek Improvement District?
Sounds nice.
It's Disney World.
Oh.
It's Disney World.
I'm glad they went with not the working title for that park.
Right.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Reedy Creek Improvement District sounds like every child's dream.
That's what, like, the city councilman innocuously titles the TIF district in the, like, ordinance to give Disney World special privileges. Oh, you mean the Reedy Creek Improvement District?
Yep.
Why are you mad about that?
Yeah.
It's like it's crazy long. It's like 92 pages of an act, right?
Yeah, I'm going to try not to make too many Parks and Rec jokes with some of this local government stuff, but I wanted to talk about what the legal foundation is for this special form of government and what will happen if it's dissolved. So a little bit of background. Reedy Creek Improvement District is a 25,000-acre independently governed area of Florida. It's existed for 55 years, beginning in 1967, when Disney World was essentially allowed to function as its own municipal government. And the theme park can make its own planning and construction decisions. They can create fire and medical response services and levy taxes to pay for them. We'll talk more about that later.
You can't pay for those taxes in Mickey Mouse dollars.
Well, I don't think so.
It does have its own currency.
They do.
Yeah, but who pays does Mickey pay taxes since he's the only one who lives there?
Well, right. I was going to get into this a little more later, but I can address it now. The interesting thing about it is that Disney provides all these services because it's sort of its own
municipality,
self-governing place. Yeah. And the interesting part is that, okay, they provide all these services, and in order to pay for them, they have to levy property taxes, but they are the primary property owner of the district. So Disney is essentially taxing itself to pay for the services that it wants to provide for the district.
Yeah, DJ Khaled would say, "Congratulations, you played yourself."
It is.
Did not expect that one from Andy. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, backing up a little bit, let's get into what Disney's special status is, and we have to get into forms of local government a little bit. I promise I'll try not to make this boring. So typically you've got 5 forms of local government. There's cities, counties, some states have towns and townships. You've got school districts, and then you have special districts.
Oh, don't forget villages.
Well, I think villages fall under towns and townships.
What about unincorporated something county?
Yeah.
Well,
Sorry,
that's
we're just
come on now.
being mean to Laura right now.
We've got like 15 minutes on this thing. What are you trying to do
Fair
to
enough,
me?
fair enough.
Special districts generally are typically tied to a specific geographic area. And like I said, they often have the power to tax, usually property taxes. In this case, since Disney is the primary property holder in the district, it's taxing itself. Some of them can even issue debt. And Reedy Creek is an especially unique one because it has even more powers than a typical special district. It covers things that would normally be associated with a city or even a county government. Basically, the district is responsible for overseeing land use and environmental protection within its boundaries, including providing public services like fire, emergency medical, water treatment, trash and recycling. It even generates its own power, maintaining roadways. Basically, the one thing they don't provide is police. They contract with Orange and Osceola counties for police presence.
And schools too, right? They don't have a school district in there.
Correct. Oh my God, can you imagine? Like, welcome to Disney World University.
I would have loved to go to that elementary school, I'm not going to lie.
I mean, yeah, that would be kind of fun. I guess maybe that's what Mickey Mouse Club was. Now I'm just getting distracted. And it's also a special tax status, as we've a lot of people have bounced this idea around that, yeah, Disney is taxing itself, but also gets tax breaks because of this. And yeah, it's interesting. So you might be wondering, does anything else like this exist in the U.S.? And the answer is yes. In fact, there are others in the state of Florida. For example, you have community development districts, which facilitate infrastructure developments. And essentially these pay housing developers to put in roads, water and sewer lines, and other stuff like that, and then charge property taxes to the new homeowners to pay themselves back, which sounds a little weird, but essentially it helps to spread out the cost of new infrastructure over a longer period of time than it would without these. However, they're not providing the same public services that Reedy Creek does. They're not doing fire or medical or anything.
So they're more like company towns?
Kind of, yeah. It's just it's basically a board tied to a specific geographic area that, facilitates this kind of stuff.
Why did Disney want all of these responsibilities on its own? Why did it want to assume all these jobs? Is it because it was more efficient or somehow in its own monetary interest? Was it getting a tax break,
I mean, initially it was because back in the 60s and 70s, Disney had plans to create its own futuristic city that would be part of Disney World. Now that eventually became...
It wasn't just Epcot Center, yeah.
Right, but that originally just kind of became Epcot, and that's it. But it was originally going to be much more extensive.
Oh, I used to know this. Like bar trivia. Experimental Prototype Community of Tomorrow.
Oh, that's what Epcot stands for.
Well, no wonder it didn't work. That's a mouthful.
Oh my gosh. I was always wondering what it meant. I was like, it's got to be the acronym for something, but that was the basis for this city plan? Okay.
Oh yeah, Walt Disney had he had some ideas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, big time. For better or worse, really.
The city didn't take off. Why?
Because when Walt died, the project of bringing Disney World to fruition was taken over by his brother. I think there just wasn't enough momentum to actually establish a planned community as well that people would be living in, and there'd be, I don't know, flying cars or something, or... It would be
the world of WALL-E.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of what I imagined too. But yeah, instead it's just a theme park that employs 80,000 people, which I guess in a way is it's its own city anyway.
And Laura, you brought up that some of this potentially implicates First Amendment issues. I guess April was just rife with free speech battles. I thought we'd had a big roundup last week, which, if you didn't catch, we cover various cases going around from the city of Austin trying to regulate billboards, to universities trying to regulate hate speech, to high school football coach trying to pray. And now this. A lot of people think that Ron DeSantis is sort of being punitive with when he's trying to revoke Disney's tax law, this one that you talk about, because of Disney's ideological stance. And
some people are saying that. Not us. Not us.
Well, okay,
Speculation.
look. He didn't even try to hide the fact. Like, I have a quote here in front of me where he said, "I am not comfortable having one company with their own government and special privileges when that company has pledged itself to attacking the parents of my state." He literally said it, guys.
And if you
this
want,
is not my personal opinion.
we have a blog post on that too. If we can link in the show notes,
Yes.
if you want to read more about that. But this isn't the first time that this has happened with a company. So, do you guys? I know the last 3 years have been a blur, but can you guys remember to back before the pandemic in 2019? There was...
Oh, wow.
No.
What a time.
I know, it existed. There was a Save Chick-fil-A case, if that rings a bell.
Oh, yeah.
And me being from Georgia, I do have a love-hate relationship with the institution. Even though I don't eat chicken, they do have some gosh darn good waffle fries and brownies, and man, they're soft serve.
Mac and cheese. Have you tried the mac and
Is that a new
cheese?
thing? I don't know. Anyway, the city of San Antonio, the city council voted to bar Chick-fil-A from San Antonio International Airport back in 2019, and allegedly because it opposed Chick-fil-A's presumed legacy of anti-LGBT behavior. So Republicans were unsurprisingly outraged, but again, not to get partisan, I was kind of on their side on this one. I'm not trying to promote anti-gay campaigns, but it is certainly the law that as long as a company complies with any anti-discrimination laws as well as health, safety, workplace regulations, it can't be punished in this way by blocking it from operating in a given venue, just for its perceived ideology.
Well, corporations have free speech rights. There's Supreme Court cases that have confirmed that. So
yeah. And you may say, well, Chick-fil-A doesn't have a right to operate in the airport, but it did have a right not to be denied access to business because of its political or religious point of view. Because like you said, the First Amendment protects the right of not just people, but private institutions, companies, to engage in political speech, which extends to safeguarding them from repercussions from the government, like the city of Antonio, for their free speech. And unsurprisingly, Texas jumped to the rescue, and Governor Greg Abbott signed the Save Chick-fil-A bill, which declared that Texas protects religious liberty and, quote, no business should be discriminated against simply because its owners donate to a church, the Salvation Army, or other religious organization, unquote. And now, in 2022, Florida is sort of the new San Antonio.
Yeah, well, and you bring up a good point, which is that this measure that would dissolve the Reedy Creek Improvement District has been signed. However, it's not going to take effect until next year. And there are a couple things that put pretty big question marks on whether or not this will actually happen. So, getting into what will happen when/if the Reedy Creek District will dissolve. First of all, the law signed by DeSantis doesn't say. So we have to go by what the Uniform Special Districts Accountability Act, which sounds like, God, one of the most boring pieces of legislation I've ever looked at. I wish Joe was here. He'd make it more fun. But basically, the assets and debts of the special district are transferred to a regular old local government. In this case, probably Orange County and possibly Osceola County as well.
Okay.
And the tax levy, the important part of that is that the tax levy that supports Reedy Creek District will disappear if the district is dissolved. This means that if Orange County is then having to support those services, they'd have to do it with their own property taxes. And the fun part about that is that Reedy Creek currently taxes itself at double the rate of property taxes in Orange County.
So Reedy Creek gets to set its own tax rates? That is surprising. So that is going to fall on Florida taxpayers then, if this dissolves.
Well, that's the thing, and that's one of the interesting things there. Yeah, there is a chance that taxpayers in the county will be left holding the bill for the services that that this district provides. And on top of that, Disney is, unsurprisingly, the state's largest private employer. So if they lose their special tax status, who do we think those increased costs are going to impact most?
Yeah.
Now, Governor DeSantis has insisted that what I've just described is not going to happen. And there are a couple...
Interesting.
What's his workarounds?
Ways that could come about. Well,
Yeah.
one little wrinkle that I wanted to bring up is that in order, by the terms under which it was created, for the district to dissolve, there has to be a vote among members of the district. And it's not very likely that Disney and the other landowners are going to opt to dissolve themselves. So I'm not really sure. I haven't seen how the governor plans to get around that.
Some might say that reactionary lawmaking is not the best way to go about making laws, but I don't know. That's not me.
Yeah,
though.
it's crazy.
Some people would say that.
No, I would never say that. And one of the proposed solutions is to dissolve the current district and create a new one where the governor himself would appoint members of the board. So essentially, DeSantis would start running Disney World.
Oh gosh! Oh my gosh!
I know. So there's that aspect of it. But at the same time, that means the state of Florida would inherit Disney's $1 billion in bond debt, which we also don't want. Not to mention the fact that a 1967 agreement between Reedy Creek and the state requires that any bond debts must be paid off before the district can have its governing powers taken away. And like I said, DeSantis apparently has a plan. He keeps saying he has a plan and insists that the bonds will be paid by Disney. But this is causing a lot of uncertainty, and that also could have an impact on other local governments in Florida because, for example, one of the nation's biggest credit rating agencies has now kind of put local governments in Florida under the microscope. So if the state fails to work with the district to resolve this, there's a chance it could affect the credit rating of all local governments in Florida. So their costs of borrowing will be higher. And then again, who's stuck holding the bill? Florida taxpayers. So,
oh man,
all of this to say, this is a mess and it ain't over till it's over. And I'm here to tell you it's not over.
Yeah, this sounds like it sounds like DeSantis did not consult with an attorney before taking this stance because
hard to say.
He is in for an uphill battle.
I don't know how involved his legal team was, but yeah, I mean between just the details of this special district and the requirements of it, add in the First Amendment issues on top of that. Exactly. Yeah, it's gonna be a major thing.
And Disney's going to fight back. Disney has deep pockets. And
of course.
So.
Oh, yes.
He picked the wrong giant to pick a fight with.
Yeah, absolutely. We could do a whole probably 2 to 3 episodes on Disney and its ability to throw its weight around in the legal world.
And sort of just evade the law. Like, the rules don't apply to Disney, as we see here, and its ability
no, at a certain point, you're too big to fail.
Yep. But that is for a different episode, so.
Yep, we will scream about that another time. Thanks for listening to Sidebar from Fine Laws Don't Judge Me. We'll be releasing these every other week between our full-length episodes. Please subscribe to, rate, and review our show wherever you listen to podcasts. And if there's a topic you'd like to hear us cover, send us an email at finelawpodcast@thomsonreuters.com.